working remotely was never actually a challenge, even before COVID. Like, it definitely made it easier, more comfortable, more flexible, I guess. I don't know. It's really difficult. It's really complicated. But you win some, you lose some. I mean, I'm fine with that.
Digital Nomad's most trusted one-stop shop travel bestie. Make your move.
Welcome to Nomadify On Air, the place that takes you on a journey to learn the world of remote working and to understand the lifestyle of digital nomads in hopes to inspire you to escape the 9 to 5. This is Bernadette. I am your host and I'm the founder of Nomadify, and live with me here today in Bali, Indonesia is Eric from Lithuania. How are you?
I'm good.
Nice to have you here.
Nice to see you again.
Nice. Can you tell our viewers something about you? What do you do? And what brings you here?
So I have a public relations company in Lithuania. We work with mostly financial companies and also technology companies. So yeah, that's basically what I do. And I'm here because I just started traveling around Asia a couple of months ago. So I've been to Vietnam, I've been to Malaysia. Now I'm here just because it's sort of on the way, and like everyone says that Bali is either like the best place or the worst. So either way, it's interesting to see if it's the worst or like the best. So yeah.
Nice. So how do you find it so far?
So, as I've said, everyone either loves it or hates it. I'm somewhere in between. There are a couple things that I love, like for example, like you can choose from like a lot of communities where to go. There's events every day for every kind of people. If you do yoga, you can do that. If you just want to drink, you can do that as well. So there's lots of options. Also, the facilities are probably unlike in any other country. Like, basically, it feels like Bali was made, especially Canggu, was made for digital nomads. Like, if you want a cafe, there's like hundreds.
That's right.
Hundreds of co-working spaces, incredible gyms, and whatever you want, basically. So, and the part that I don't like, I'm not a huge fan of some parts of the crowd, but it's avoidable, so I don't mind that. I'm not a huge fan of the traffic, but I got used to that. Yeah,
It's
so mixed feelings.
yeah. I think it's a Asia standard that most like places are like traffic, but I'd say Bali's still tolerable.
Yeah, it's messy, but it's not as bad as people told me. People told me like, oh, it's dangerous, you're gonna die. Have you seen how many people are on the GoFundMe and
Motor
stuff?
accidents.
Yeah,
That's true.
like, yeah, you can get injured, but like it's quite unlikely because the traffic here is actually so big that even if you get into an accident, it's not gonna be big. Like in Vietnam before, the traffic is huge, but you're also going like at least like 70 kilometers an hour. And if you have an accident there, you probably just die or get your
That's
lung
true.
punctured and all that stuff. Here, if you have an accident, it's probably gonna be small. If it's not small, it's probably your own fault.
Hopefully, no one would experience that. So make sure to get your insurance
Yeah.
before flying to Asia. So moving on to the next question: how did you become a digital nomad, and what inspired you to pursue this lifestyle?
I became a digital nomad in 2017, so unlike most other people that started after COVID or during COVID, I just decided that I want to go away somewhere. Back then, like being a digital nomad wasn't that much of a thing. It wasn't, I don't know if it was a term already, but it wasn't that popular. So I just decided, okay, I'll go somewhere for like a long time. I'll stay in one location and I'll see how it goes. So I went to Greece for 40 days in total. And that was really fun. That was a really fun experience. And yeah, after that I decided, yeah, I should do this more. Because I've worked remotely since day one. I've never worked in an office. So I
I'm
could
jealous.
technically like just
You
work from
literally
wherever.
lived the life ever since then.
Yeah. So that's how I
Amazing.
started.
Nice. Would you say so when since you mentioned that you never experienced working in a corporate world, but technically you're still like leaving your country, right? In
Yeah.
like doing your thing. Would you say that you had it all figured out before your first ever flight to Greece when you started to become a digital nomad, or did you just pick things up along the
Oh,
way?
I had no idea what I'm doing. I was like, yeah, just let's go somewhere for 40 days. In worst case, like Greece is in Europe, I can come back if I want to, or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. It's not that far. Like in worst case, I can
Mm-hmm.
suffer for those 40 days and I'll
Mm-hmm.
be fine. So I had no idea what I'm doing, and I didn't even Google too much
Mm-hmm.
because
Mm-hmm.
once again, being a digital nomad back then wasn't very common.
That's true.
So yeah, I just did whatever, and yeah, it all worked out just fine.
Amazing. Just to share, like I think you're already the 12th person who sit on that couch, and every time I ask this question, everyone says they had it all figured it out. Like they just figure things out along the way. So this is really inspiring to aspiring digital nomads because you really don't have to figure out everything, and you time will not come. You will never know the answer.
Yeah.
Just act on it. Take it from the pros, like Eric. What are the challenges have you faced while working remotely, and how did you overcome it?
So working remotely was never actually a challenge, even
Okay.
before COVID. Like I've been working for like since 2012.
Mm-hmm.
I always did it remotely. It never was a problem. Before COVID, you had to do like those stupid 15-minute meetings where you have to go by a car for 1 hour one way and then 1 hour back just to
Mhm.
meet for 15 minutes, and it all
I
could have been
agree.
an email. Now it's not a problem at all. So I don't have issues with working remotely. Never had
Nice.
them, yeah.
Um, why did you decide to? I think we have already tapped this later, but is I know that this island has its own charm, but is there something about Bali that made you like attracted, specifically with the digital nomad lifestyle?
Well, I knew that the community here is as big as it gets.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think I've ever been in a place that's like actually very common for digital nomads to be in. I've been to places like Armenia, Georgia, Albania, Montenegro,
Mm.
Greece, whatever. None of those communities are big. Like Albania doesn't have a community at all.
Greece is also like a digital nomad hotspot.
Compared to Bali, it's
Mhm.
empty. Because in Greece has like hundreds of islands
Mm-hmm.
and many cities, so
Mm-hmm.
it's more spread out. In Bali, yeah, there's Ubud,
Solid
there's Canggu,
community.
and maybe Uluwatu, but
Mm-hmm.
like those are just like free, more common places. So you meet a digital nomad on every corner, and yeah, that's what basically attracted me the most. I wanted to see,
Nice.
okay, if it's a real digital nomad
Mhm.
hotspot, I have to see why.
Mm-hmm.
Because yeah, I've heard from many people, but I want to form my own opinion. So,
A lot of like-minded peoples and also like living the same
Yeah.
as you do. How has this remote work lifestyle impacted your personal life?
hard to tell when it's been a part of my life for 11 years. Uh, it definitely made it easier, more comfortable, more flexible, I
Mhm.
guess. I don't know how my life would be like if I would have like a normal 9 to 5 job. So
Mhm.
I cannot like answer really properly to this question, but I think I would be significantly less happy
Okay.
because I would have a lot less freedom, and oh boy, I
Mhm.
love my freedom.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, basically that's the answer.
It increased the happiness and
Yeah.
well-being. Nice. How do you see? This is a bit controversial, but how do you see relationships and dating in this kind of lifestyle?
So let's start with relationship, not non-romantic ones.
Mm-hmm.
So my friends back in Lithuania, we don't talk much or chat much when I'm abroad. But whenever I come back, it's all like from
Mm-hmm.
like nothing has changed. Um, romantic relationships, I think that's a lot more difficult, of course, because I'm always on the move.
Mm-hmm.
So I sort of cannot have a proper romantic relationships back in Lithuania, but I also cannot have a proper romantic relationship
Anywhere
somewhere.
else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So because I'm always on the move. So my only option is maybe someone else who lives the same lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes it happens that the other person, or maybe I will change my mind someday, and
Mm-hmm.
then it's again
You
sort
would
of moving.
decide to settle down.
So yeah, I don't know. It's really difficult. It's really complicated. But you win some, you lose
Mm-hmm.
some. I mean, I'm fine with that.
Do you see yourself though that you'll be settling down like for good in one place?
Probably not anytime
Mhm.
soon. I'm 24 now,
Okay. Still
so
young.
yeah, I
Mhm.
still probably have at least
Mhm.
like 10 years to live in any way I want. After that, we'll see.
Yeah, that's true. Because right now there's already like couple travel vloggers. Some vloggers also have their kids on the traffic.
Yeah.
So I really don't think that marriage relationship should tie you down on.
Yeah, that probably will not be an issue, especially like in the future. Yeah, as you said, many people are doing it now.
For sure, we will wait for the updates about your love.
Yeah,
What-
I'm waiting as well.
What advice would you give to our viewers who is aspiring to be like you, a digital nomad, an independent entrepreneur worker? What skills do you think do they need to learn?
I could say something like that probably a lot of people say, like find what you like, find
Mhm.
a skill or whatever, but I think everybody already knows that more or less. I think the most important thing while being a digital nomad, and the most difficult thing, is to learn how to roll with punches,
Mhm.
because basically a lot of the time you're gonna be alone more or less.
Mhm.
Even though on the road you make a lot of friendships, those friendships are the ones where you share happy moments with.
Mhm.
But if you have some kind of trouble in your personal life or whatever, those are probably not going to be the people you'll want to share your stories with, or maybe they will not even want to listen to your
Mhm.
stories. So you have to learn to be alone in difficult situations, and yeah, just roll with the punches alone.
And independence is really the key. Like I understand, like things can get lonely, especially if you're like an expat or a nomad in a different country.
Yeah.
It's hard to connect. I guess my final question would be, if you would talk to your old self before you choose this lifestyle, what would you advise yourself?
Hmm. That's a difficult one. I think I was doing more or less everything right from the day one, honestly. Because the main thing I always do when I come into a new place is I try to connect with as many people as possible.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not very connecting person, but
Mhm.
I just push myself as much as possible for the first week or two to go to every meetup, I write in every WhatsApp group,
Mhm.
in every Facebook group, whatever, just to meet with as many people as possible. And I did that from the day one. I did that back then mostly on couchsurfing. That was a lot more active back then. So I would probably advise to look for more digital nomads and people who are traveling like for long
Okay.
term. Because back in my days when I started, I was just like hanging out with
Mhm.
any random travelers, and it sort of gets annoying
Mhm.
that every week you meet new people,
It gets
and every
tiring.
week, yeah, you're starting from step one.
Mhm.
Hi, I'm Eric. I'm from Lithuania. Oh, I've never met anybody from Lithuania. Yeah, it's because it's a small country. All of that, and like I already know what I'm gonna say because I already know what people
It
are
being
gonna ask.
repetitive.
Yeah, so that's annoying, and basically the number one thing is to try to connect with people as deeply as
Mhm.
possible, because when traveling, people
Come
make
and go.
yeah, but they also make probably like 60 or even more percent of the experience. You
I
can be in
agree.
the nicest place possible, but if you are alone or your connections and relationships are not that good, you're not gonna enjoy it as much. So that's, I think, very
Everything
important.
is surface level.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That is so deep and so insightful. Thank you so much, Eric. How can our viewers find you? Do you have a website, a business that you want to blog, or Tinder profile? How can our
Yeah,
viewers
I don't
find
have
you?
too much to share. I mean, I do public relations only in Lithuania, so unless you want to expand there, which I highly doubt, but if you for some reason want to expand there and you're looking for a specialist or a team for your public relations there, you can find our website, although it's in Lithuanian, but you know how to use Google Translate, more.lt. That's about it. My personal social media is sort of personal, so I'm not gonna share that.
We'll
So,
put
yeah.
your website on the description box.
All right, sounds good.
Massive thank you, Eric, for
Thank
everything
you.
you shared with us today. I'll see you guys in the next episode.
Well, coming to Bali in general is a lifestyle. Moving to Bali and trying to live here is a purpose that I wanted to have. I'm single,
Okay,
big time,
okay.
because I think you need to settle down in order to figure out your social life. You need to like find a place, find the people you like. AI, obviously.
Okay.
I think everybody agrees now that people need to get into AI because AI is gonna get into them.